Welcome to News Now. I am Perpetual Fasami Peter. President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday chaired the third Ministerial Performance Review Retreat for ministers, permanent secretaries and top government functionaries. Former President of Kenya, Uhuru Kenyatta, British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Katrina Leng, President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, as well as Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, were among dignitaries present at the State House Banquet Hall, venue of the event. The first ministerial retreat was held in August 2019. This year's retreat, the last in a series of retreats held under Buhari's second term, is sequel to the mid-term performance review held last year. The retreat's objectives include delivery reports on progress made, particularly on the 9 priority areas of the present administration. The retreat is structured into 3 main areas, presenting key achievements and ways to accelerate implementation of key mandates. The president declared that the goal to increase electricity generation to 25,000 megawatts in 6 years is on course through the partnership between the federal government of Nigeria and German Siemens, as the first batch of the transformers has arrived in Nigeria already. He stated that his administration remained unwavering in the fight against corruption and will continue to review and prosecute high-profile corruption cases and ensure speedy completion. Still, the President, Muhammadu Buhari, has attributed buildings on water channels, disregard for early warning and climate change for the disastrous floods ravaging Bayelsa State and other parts of the country. He also directed that all federal agencies dealing with rescue and disaster management offer all needed assistance to the state. This came after reports by the Bayelsa state government revealed that 700,000 persons have been displaced in about 300 communities and villages in 5 of the state's 8 local government areas that are submerged in water due to rains causing flooding. The president further expressed sadness at the devastation caused by floods in the state. He also extended the nation's condolences to the families of the victims and all those affected by this natural disaster. The governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, has donated relief materials to the victims of flooding in communities in the Ohaja, Egbema and Oguta local government areas of the state. The governor also disclosed that his administration had activated plans to curb flooding in communities in the state. Uzodinma said the planned dredging of the Oguta Lake and Orashi River by the federal government would go a long way in mitigating the effects of disaster caused by flooding in the area. According to a statement issued by the governor's chief press secretary, Ogui Kinwachuku in Owerri on Sunday, Uzodinma was represented by his deputy, Professor Placid Njoko, during the visit. We'll bring you details of that in our subsequent bulletin. And moving on now, Oyo State Governor Engineer MAKINDE has expressed optimism that the ruling People's Democratic Party in Oyo State is in good standing ahead of the 2023 general elections. MAKINDE said this while receiving thousands of DECAMPEES from other political parties in a ceremony held at the Lake Consalami Stadium in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. He vowed to sustain this tempo of good governance that has attracted highly rated and resourceful politicians from various political parties into the PDP fold.
I'm extremely excited today seeing the mammoth crowd of some of my followers, not even all, that have come to defect from APC to PDP. Coming from Okeogun, Ibarapa, Oyo, Ogbomoso, Ibadan, both Ibadan and other cities.
We've been together during the coalition, and I've been watching him. Even people of Oyo State take it to me that he has performed excellently well. So why wouldn't I support him to continue with the good job? Only if I have my own interest, then I will support him.
Look at it. Look at what is going on with our people. You know, we are expecting more people to join us. The members of APC, they are free to come and join us. We are looking forward to it. So, I mean, this is all about our people. It's not about us. And again, I don't abuse people. I just do issues-based politics. I don't need to be abusive.
And moving on, contractors that supplied COVID-19 medical equipment and items to the Federal Capital Territory Administration have taken over major streets in protest against the partial payment of money allegedly owed them for 3 years. The protesters blocked the entrance gate of the FCT minister, causing gridlock and preventing vehicles from accessing the secretariat. The National Human Rights Commission on Sunday raised concern over the rising food prices in the country, saying it had worsened access to healthy and nutritious food, especially among internally displaced persons and vulnerable groups, leading to an increase in widespread hunger and low quality of life. The Commission attributed the scenario to several factors, including the insecurity chasing farmers from their farms, coupled with many submerged farmlands due to flooding in some parts of the country. The Commission's Executive Secretary, Tony Ojukwu, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, according to a statement by the NHRC Deputy Director, Public Affairs and External Linkages, Fatima Mohammed, stated this in Abuja as Nigeria joins the global community to celebrate World Food Day, which is celebrated on October 16 every year. The group director noted that Nigeria is undergoing a severe food crisis fueled by climate change and insecurity in all parts of the country, coupled with the current Russia-Ukraine war that has affected the importation of food items across the globe. According to him, the current food crisis is mostly affecting the less privileged, especially the internally displaced persons. As Nigerians are preparing to go to the polls to elect their leaders at the forthcoming general election, the Nigerian Global Affairs Council, NIGAC, has trained youths in Lagos on how good governance can be achieved in Nigeria using India as a model. The event, which had in attendance young professionals, upcoming leaders and technocrats, sought to help the participants understand how government operates and how policies are designed. Speaking at the NIGAC Conversation on Governance, the Consul General of India in Lagos told participants how that India is not different from Nigeria in terms of issues around corruption, brain drain, inflation, among others.
The government of India has made rules which has made the government a very responsive government. I am telling you, in my embassy, my colleague Izoma is there, she can tell you that we are responsive to the complaints on the Twitter, and we try to resolve it. So this is the responsiveness, this is the thing which comes. May not be now, it will happen. But this is the process. We have to include people among us. Therefore, I will say that there should be financial inclusion. Governance is what makes a country. It is a broader term. It is broader than the bureaucracy, what we do administratively. But governance is to look after the all parts of the government. How do we serve the country?
Basically, we've organized a governance conversation that tends to introduce young people, into the concept of public service, specifically working as policy technocrats. Everyone you see, at today's event are all professionals in various fields of human endeavors. And the goal, of course, through this particular platform and this conversation we're having today, is to begin to instill in young people, young professionals, people that are high flyers, the need to understand how government operates, they need to understand how policy, of course, is designed. And in the last 2 years, we've actually built that relationship through the training programs, mentoring programs, and obviously the exposure that, every one of us has gotten, to governance, and of course, how policies are developed, designed, and implemented. At the end of the day, of course, we are here to unveil those policy fellows, but more importantly, we're also here to share our thoughts, towards 2023.